Thank you, Speaker. I rise to give my contribution to the Criminal Organisations Control Amendment Bill of 2024. I might first say, wow, it's been a couple of intense days here in Melbourne and here in the chamber as well, with varying debates going back and forth. I must say also my heart bleeds a bit for our beautiful city of Melbourne with the violent protests that have been going on. Understand that peaceful protests are right. Violent protests are criminal. And I'd like to join with my colleagues in saying thank you to our police, women and men, for looking after the community, for putting themselves on the line, for their courage and dedication. Speaker, this bill will aim to prevent and disrupt serious and organised crime in Victoria through a variety of reforms to the Criminal Organisation Control Act 2012 to continue our response to organised crime in this state. Essentially, this bill will be giving Victoria Police additional support so they can continue to disrupt and prevent serious organised crime in Victoria. This will be achieved through a raft of amendments to strengthen the existing unlawful association powers in Part 5A of the Act and provide for oversight of the scheme by IBAC. It will provide a new scheme for the making of serious crime prevention orders in Victoria, enabling the court to impose conditions restricting the activities of a person subject to the order, in place of the existing declaration and control order scheme. It will prohibit the public display of designated insignia or gang colours in Victoria, and it will create a new offence prohibiting members of declared organised crime groups from entering government websites. I do remember the last time I went to the amazing Frankston Hospital build to an event. There were hundreds of people, workers, construction workers there, and working hard, and they're an amazing group of people. But I did notice that there were a couple of people that did seem out of place, and I now understand from the media reports and what's going on who they were and why they were there. Every person in our community deserves to feel safe in their workspace. No one should go to their workspace feeling intimidated, stood over, or frightened. So this bill will address those issues. Serious and organised crime costs Australians up to $60 billion each year. That's an eye-watering amount by anyone's standard. And it's being used to traffic drugs, buy firearms, commit financial fraud, scams, attacking small businesses that sell tobacco and more. Now, these reforms will give Victoria Police broader powers to crack down on criminals, which will improve the safety of all communities. I note this in the part of the ongoing work of the Victorian Government is undertaking to tackle all forms of crime with the recent passing of the Confiscation Amendment, Unexplained Wealth Act of 2024. That, for example, will assist to combat the rise of cybercrime. Additionally, last month we made further recommendations and amendments to the Youth Justice Bill of 2024 to address concerns with youth crime. In addition to the changes made concerning organised crime, this bill will also be disrupting outlaw motorcycle gangs with reforms that will prohibit the public display of designated insignia and gang colours in Victoria. We know that those involved with outlaw motorcycle gangs like to use their colours and patches to intimidate the community and to also promote themselves and to attract new members. These new reforms will ban the display of insignia in all public areas, as well as private property where the insignia is visible in all public places and from a public point of view. Just to be clear, this will only apply to insignias of organisations that have been prescribed in regulations made under the Criminal Organisation Control Act of 2012. Moreover, this is to target those organisations that are involved in serious criminal activity and preventing them on displaying insignias that could lead to recruiting new members who then may go on to commit serious crimes and bring harm to the community. Additionally, provides our police with powers to directly remove offending insignia, and if necessary, seize the offending insignia. is also part of the new tools being given to Victoria Police to assist them in the hard work they do each and every day in our community. Further changes this bill will be making is to the unlawful association scheme. Under these new laws, a police officer of or above the rank of sergeant or senior sergeant may issue a notice to prohibit people from associating with each other if one of the persons is an eligible offender. The bill removes some of the red tape that has been associated with the current scheme setup, namely that someone under an unlawful association notice is deemed to commit an offence once they've associated with a person or another person on 3 or more occasions in a 3-month period, or 6 or more occasions in a 12-month period. Now, this bill will reduce that down to just 1 occasion, which absolutely makes sense. It shouldn't have to take 3 times for 2 people to meet that could well be meeting to discuss criminal activities, organise a large drug deal or plan on which businesses to target next. In any case, they should be deterred from meeting with each other at all. These new laws will deter such meetings from taking place, whilst importantly giving our hard-working police officers the power to act on it as well. Furthermore, the definition of family member has been narrowed so that it applies to a more confined group of people. This will be put in place to deter loopholes that could be exploited with the term family member. I'm sure everyone in this place has those very close friends that they consider like family, but there isn't actually a family connection. The changes made to the scheme in this bill will seek to stop people from using that as an excuse to continue to associate and cause poor behaviour and criminal actions to occur. What this bill will also achieve is the introduction of a new serious crime prevention order scheme. Only one other state has a serious crime prevention order scheme in place, which is New South Wales. What this scheme will mean is that a court order will be issued to individuals that are engaged with serious criminal activity, achieved by allowing the Chief Commissioner of Police to apply to a court that will impose conditions on someone who has been involved in serious crimes or is likely to help someone else that is involved in serious criminal behaviour. An example of this might be serious crime prevention order has a condition that a person can't leave the state, have firearms in their possession or even hold certain amounts of cash. Those found in breach of this order can be hit with a fine of up to $118,500 or 5 years in prison or even both, if the court sees it to be appropriate. The Serious Crime Prevention Order Scheme is aimed to directly restrict the activities of the organised crime groups and group leaders, the ones who are the decision makers and the root causes for the planning of major criminal activities that not only affect Victorians but all Australians. In addition to this scheme and who it will target, it will also give the courts power to register a corresponding interstate order, if sought by Victorian Police, to enable its effect here. This will mean that Victoria can prevent someone who has similar order placed on them in another state from entering Victoria, further stymieing criminal activities and sending a clear message to those wanting to cause issues here they won't be allowed to, and they won't be allowed in. Firstly, I just want to be really clear. Our unions do an incredible job day in and day out, supporting the working class, fighting for better working conditions and a fair day's wage. What's been reported lately in the media has not and will not ever take away from the sheer amount of hard work the trade union movement has achieved over decades of their existence. I've met and talked with members from teaching unions, nursing unions and construction unions too. They're people, they're members of our community, hard-working mums and dads that just want to see their work be respected and be compensated fairly for it. It's a great shame that a very small bunch have caused a rotten culture to cultivate and denigrate the important work that our unions do. What's been reported in the media and witnessed on government worksites must be addressed, and there is certainly no place for someone who is associated with serious criminal activity to work in government worksites or to facilitate that shocking and poor behaviour, which is why this government has chosen to act and commit to stamping out this rotten culture and take crucial steps to ensure it's avoided in the future. The conduct of unions is regulated under federal, not state laws, but we will do what we can, though, to toughen anti-bikie laws so that the police can exercise adequate responses to things like unlawful association. Just to put a little bit of a happy spin on all this, construction, Frankston Hospital, $1.1 billion, on time, on schedule. I commend the build of the house.